with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Right.
Everybody now has an opportunity to pull up their chair and have a seat.
For the past year, Cheryl has been attacking Caitlin Clark, claiming that she is a 25-year-old playing against teenagers, that her rookie season isn't spectacular, and that no one wants to play with her. The attacks seem to go on forever.
Some of your peers, they will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Right.
How can you separate the two? It's kind of hard, right?
And Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummy.
Then, basketball legend and former Clark coach Cheryl Miller entered the ring and delivered a knockout blow to the All the Smoke podcast, calling Swoopes a big dummy and dismantling the false narratives Miller's putting Swoopes in her place. Miller's defense of Caitlin Clark reveals something unexpected about the Indiana Fever's future that has fans buzzing with excitement. Are you ready? Let's go.
3-time Player of the Year, 2-time National Championship, 2-time Tournament MVP, first woman to dunk in an organized game, gold medalist. Thank you for making time. Welcome to the show, Cheryl Miller.
Before we dissect anything Miller said, let's examine the strange campaign Sheryl Swoopes has conducted against Caitlin Clark from her college days through her rookie season. Have you ever wondered why one of basketball's legends appears so anxious to destroy the WNBA's brightest new star?
Let's also talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them. But you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old.
It all began with Swoopes making wildly false claims about Clark's college career. In perhaps her most outrageous claim, Swoopes said that Clark was a 25-year-old playing against 20-year-olds during her time at Iowa. In reality, Clark was only 22 and playing in her fourth year like countless other college seniors. When confronted about this falsehood, Swoopes backpedaled, claiming that it was just hyperbole related to COVID eligibility rules, a weak defense that didn't hold up.
Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Carry on.
I know you like that.
Yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots a game.
However, Swoopes was only getting started when she went on to accuse Clark of taking 40 shots per game, portraying her as a self-centered volume shooter. In reality, Clark averaged 22.7 shots per game. What makes this claim especially ironic is that Swoopes herself averaged 19.2 shots per game during her senior year, which was just 3 fewer than Clark. Talk about throwing stones from a glass house. But when Clark was getting close to the all-time NCAA scoring record, Swoopes changed tactics, casting doubt on the achievement by implying that it would take a 5th year to break it.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
This was wholly untrue. Clark broke the record in 4 years, the same amount of time as other college players. Swoopes conveniently disregarded the fact that the COVID eligibility rule would have given Clark a 5th year, but she decided not to use it. When Clark joined the WNBA, Swoopes boldly predicted she wouldn't dominate the league. However, as Clark started to break rookie assist records and establish herself as one of the league's premier playmakers, Swoopes mysteriously went silent. The numbers speak for themselves. Clark finished her rookie season with an average of 19.2 points and a league-high assists per game, silenced the doubters, and won Rookie of the Year award.
I didn't say she wouldn't be good. What I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
Respectfully, there is absolutely no way, even when we're trying to sit here and play semantics about dominating, there's no way that anyone could ever leave this season in saying that both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese didn't dominate. You would have to further explain what dominance means for you to not sit here and say that a player who is leading the league in assists while averaging 19 to 20 points didn't dominate that season.
Swoopes' appearance on Angel Reese's podcast, where she continued to disparage Clark while claiming she doesn't detest her, a classic example of saying one thing while doing another, may have been the most telling.
I've known Cheryl since she was in college. I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first SBs. I've known Cheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that there was this quote by Cheryl that said, Caitlin was, 25 years old. She was, 24 years old. She was a fifth-year senior. Right. She was taking 40 shots a game. Her records were illegitimate.
After the basketball community noticed this trend, Swoopes was eventually banned from covering a Fever game and replaced by Nancy Lieberman, who wasn't afraid to expose the false information being disseminated about the rookie star.
I got off the treadmill and I called her as a friend and I said, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody, but you do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter. And if you just get ahead of this and just say, hey, I made a mistake on my numbers, then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. And, you might like Boston. I might like the Yankees. It's okay to have difference of opinions. Well, she got upset with me on the phone, and I was like, Cheryl, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing. We're talking. And so our relationship it pretty much is not happening at this point. I tried to talk to her at the Final Four. Right. She didn't want to talk to me. My life's going to be good or great with or without Sheryl Swoopes in my life.
When Cheryl Miller entered the All the Smoke podcast studio and completely lit up the critics, the basketball world finally found someone credible to enter the Caitlin Clark conversation. What happens when a basketball legend who has actually coached Clark decides she's had enough of the nonsense? You get one of the most genuine defenses we've seen in women's basketball.
Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies. Is she getting hyped? Yes. But she was in the backyard. She was putting in the same time, sometimes maybe more than you were.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I can't fault her for what she was given.
The studio erupted, but Miller was just getting started. She defended Clark's work ethic with the passion of someone who has witnessed it firsthand. This wasn't just another talk head defending Clark. It was Cheryl Miller, one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball, calling out the hypocrisy that has been swirling around the young star. Miller didn't just casually support Clark. She came with fire and precision that only someone of her stature could deliver.
Look, as much as she was given, you can't tell me if that door would have swung the other way where she didn't live up to the hype.
Right.
Come on, folks are still waiting for her to fall.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yep.
So, with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
The painful reality that Clark's detractors refuse to acknowledge is that her presence has improved the league as a whole, including the salaries of those who criticize her.
You recently coached the WNBA All-Star game. You spent some time with Caitlin Clark.
Best coaching job ever.
Best coaching job
Best
ever.
coaching job ever.
Being around Caitlin Clark, how was the experience for her? She's such a big star. I mean, the sky's the limit for her. To be around her, just talk about the type of person she is, how much she loves the game.
I'm going to be honest because it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her. Mm-hmm. I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to be a Black woman and hated because of my color.
Yeah.
After coaching Clark in the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game, Miller had a front row seat to assess Clark's game beyond the highlight clips, and what she saw shocked even her. This is what makes Miller's defense so potent.
I can't imagine this young lady, I don't want to use hate, but despised. Mm-hmm. And people just having, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason.
Mm-hmm. Confident.
And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative. Mm-hmm. And I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't the truth.
Miller skillfully dismantled months of media spin in a single statement and then went deeper, providing unique insight into what makes Clark unique. I was happy and glad to realize that the story wasn't the truth.
Watching her pass, and I didn't know how talented she was and how well she sees the game in a 3D version. Thinker, defensively a lot better than I thought and gave her credit for. So watching her and just spending a little time. And one thing, guys, that I've learned is to step back and let these kids be themselves.
When the Fever finally secured their first victory of the 2024 season, Miller not only congratulated Clark, but also provided her with unconditional support when the rookie needed it most. This is much more significant than Miller's technical analysis of Clark's abilities.
He was getting hit with everything left and right, and I just said, I hugged her, I said, I'm so proud of you. I go, savor this, use this as a formula. I said, but keep being you. I said, no matter what, keep being you.
Miller recalled the raw emotion of that encounter. I gave her the biggest hug that I could. When she saw me, she was like, oh man, somebody who's on my side. She was getting hit with everything left and right. The embrace between Miller and Clark following Indiana's first victory wasn't just a casual exchange between basketball figures. It was a crucial moment that revealed just how alone Clark had felt during the storm of criticism surrounding her entry into the league.